Sorry, I thought you were gonna say like action or cut or something. I don't know. Okay, my bad. I totally didn't pick up on that. Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to Nomads No Worries.
Good afternoon, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. Jack and I are fresh off of the Coachella Music Festival. It's Thursday, so we've had some time to recover. But Jack, I gotta check in on you. I know you had the Coachella flu. Sounds like for a couple days after you got back. I hope you're doing okay. If you want to give me an update, give the people an update.
Yeah. The Coachella flu, otherwise known as the Wook flu. I didn't feel bad during the festival, but like the day after, I just had a terrible headache, throat, runny nose, stuffy. So I felt like kind of the common cold, but I'm finally kind of getting over it. So I feel pretty good. And it seems
Good.
like I wasn't alone. A lot of people seem to have gotten sick.
So you called it the Wook flu.
Yeah.
For our listeners out there who maybe aren't familiar with that slang term, can you explain what a wook is?
Yeah, well, I'm going to give you my explanation. Obviously, this might not be the scientific one, but I
Hmm.
kind of think about wooks as like hobbits in Lord of the Rings, like they don't wear shoes, they kind of wander around in the woods a lot, but they're sort of like modern day hobbits and they go to festivals and they get fucked up. And so when I say wook, that's what I kind of mean. More of like a hippie, but maybe like a little dirtier than a hippie.
Yeah, I'd say wooks are dirtier than hippies. I remember it got popularized in Colorado through a Facebook group called Big Game Trophy Wook Hunters. And there were like 200,000 people in this fucking Facebook group back when Facebook groups were a thing. And basically, they would just take pictures of wooks and post them into this group and be like, bagged and tagged. I caught this wook, and it would just be a dirty hippie, maybe like a white person with dreads, like you said, no shoes, maybe some ratchet. What are those like ponchos that people
Yeah.
wear? Maybe some tie dye, shit like that. So that's a
Yeah,
wook.
or like a cut off hoodie,
Yeah.
like cigs or vapes, like all that sort of stuff. They hang out at the Chiba Hut. If you don't know what the Chiba Hut is, it's like a sandwich restaurant in Denver, and every sandwich is named after weed in some way.
Yeah. Even the sizes, like you can get a blunt size if you want like a big one, or like a joint is like a smaller sandwich. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah, so they really gravitated towards that. To be honest, I haven't seen a ton of wooks recently. I guess that's because I haven't been back to Denver in a while. I feel like Denver's sort of like Jerusalem for wooks.
So yeah, that's where they congregate. So,
Yeah,
well, good, man. I'm
yeah.
glad you're feeling better.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So you weren't sick at all. You were totally fine.
No, I'm feeling good. I mean, I took an extra day off. Like I already had Monday off on PTO, but then Tuesday I woke up and I was just so tired. I messaged my boss and I was like, I need a sick day. I just need one more day to recover. But then I was fine. Yeah, I'm here in my co-working space in Mexico City. Actually, just met a really chill nomad, like with a chill nomad job.
Uh-huh.
So he's this old American guy, like he's like a dad, kind of gray hair age.
Okay.
And he said he is a writer or an editor for a fish magazine.
Oh.
And I was like, damn, that is chill as hell. He said he used to be a commercial fisherman for like 20 years and now he just writes about fish. I was like, damn, I want that job. Like, that just sounds easy. He's like, yeah, I get to go hang out with fishermen and then just like write about the shit that they do. I was like, all right, find your niche. Let's go.
That's cool. I mean, having a passion job that's definitely you're winning at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. My passion is not what I do. I guess my passion is travel and then I make money from my job and then I get to fund my passion with that. So it's kind of an indirect passion.
Would you say, Pat, traveling to music festivals is also a passion of yours?
Yeah, I'll throw passion. I'll just throw that word around. Yeah, I fucking love it.
So, Steve, let me just put you on the spot. Right? Why not, right? I mean, do you think that you will be returning to Coachella one day?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Let's get into it. Let's make
Okay.
this formal.
Okay.
Guys, today we're talking about Coachella because we just came back from it. We're going to talk about some of our personal experiences and stories and give you a little behind the scenes look. If you've never been to Coachella, you don't know what it's all about. We'll tell you, from the non influencer perspective, what it's like. So we'll talk about that. And then we're going to just give a quick history of the origins of Coachella. So if you really have no idea what it is, we'll be sharing that during this episode as well. So to answer your question, will I be returning?
Yes.
I'd say the door is open. I had so much fun again. Like I thought I wouldn't have fun. And like the shitty stuff that may have happened, like the crowds and stuff, I've already forgotten about. I just remember the fun shit. So I doubt I'll be back next year. That's a little too soon. But the year after, I could be convinced. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, me too. I mean, I was talking with some people about it. It's like you kind of like almost are like dragging your feet with it for a while, and then once you get there and you're like all set up and ready to go, it's like
Dude, I agree. It's like skiing in a way. You get ready forever and then it's fun once you're out there.
exactly. You just kind of gotta, force yourself to get to that point.
All right, let's get it going. So, we're going to pretend like this is the beginning of the episode. We're going to put this at the beginning, even though we're recording it after the part that we already did. Whatever. You guys don't need to hear how the sausage is made. But before we talk about our experience at Coachella, we want to talk about the origins of Coachella, the evolutions of it. What the fuck is it? You hear about it a lot. I heard about it for a long time and I didn't even know what it was until like 2017. I didn't know it was a music festival. I didn't know what.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it a little bit. It all started with Pearl Jam. Okay.
Shout
So
out.
the festival is held at the Empire Polo Club in Indio, California, right outside of Palm Springs, out in the desert. So inland, like 3 hours from LA. So the festival grounds, it is a real literal polo field for most of the year where people are riding horses and shooting balls between sticks, just playing polo until, every day 125,000 people trample that shit. Okay, the festival grounds are over 600 acres. So Coachella is, for those who don't know, it is a music and arts festival. So picture like a concert where you only have one artist playing on one stage, one venue. Maybe there's some opening acts, one or two. But at Coachella, there's like fucking 20 stages and like 10 artists play on each stage every day. So you're just running around to different stages, seeing artists, seeing musical acts. And they have art installations everywhere as well, which is kind of cool. So it was born out of a Pearl Jam protest. Of course, we all remember the 80s, 90s band Pearl Jam.
Yep.
In 1993, the band refused to play at Ticketmaster venues. So they held a show at the Empire Polo Club in Indio, and that planted the seed for the first Coachella, which was in 1999. They were like, shit, we can have concerts here. There's a lot of space. Let's just have a whole ass festival. So they did that performance in November 5th, 1993. Almost 25,000 fans showed up because they didn't want to play in Los Angeles. They were like, hey, just make the drive out here and we'll put on a show.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it's crazy, right? I'm sure we got some Zoomer listeners, right? 1999, guys. Okay, that's older than you. Okay, 90s here. We're talking about this is a long time ago. There were cell phones, for the record. There were no iPhones, though.
Yeah, no smartphones. You could not play Wordle on your phone yet.
No
You
Shazam.
just had to play with the buttons. No Shazam, nothing. And that first Coachella actually lost money in 1999. It was headlined by Beck, Rage Against the Machine, and Tool. And just that one day, it lost nearly $1 million. So they even skipped the next year, 2000, to regroup and be like, all right, we got to figure out how to make money off this.
Talk about having conviction, though. I think if I lost $1 million on a business venture, I'd probably throw in the towel. That's a lot of money, especially in 1999.
Yeah, that was like $3 million back then.
Yeah, exactly. Like, damn, like, way to come back. Okay, so it wasn't always cool. In the early 2000s, it was a more indie alternative focused Radiohead, The Cure, Bjork, and then it slowly evolved into the cultural heartbeat that it is today. the center of culture.
Fuck yeah.
If you're at Coachella, you are relevant. That's how you know you're relevant, okay?
That's why I go, is just to be cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I just want to look cool. But yeah, dude, I was looking at past lineups. There was no fucking Lady Gaga, Charlie XCX, Billie Eilish bullshit. Like, it was all alternative shit like Radiohead, which would be cool. You know, I like those bands too. So
Yeah, no, totally, totally. And then I thought one of the most epic scenes or situations that happened at Cello was the Tupac hologram in 2012 when it was Dre, Snoop Dogg, and they performed with the hologram of Tupac, and it blew people's minds. And I think that was probably
dude,
like a moment where it was like, okay, like Coachella does a unique thing. Like they go above and beyond. No pun
Dude,
intended.
yes. Yeah. So that helps cement Coachella's reputation for surprise moments. And that's when I learned what Coachella was. Actually, even when that happened, I still didn't really get what it was. I didn't really know it was a music festival, but I remember seeing the Tupac hologram and I was like, okay,
Yep.
Coachella. That's something called Coachella. That was the first time I ever heard about it. So yeah, that was an iconic moment.
I mean, Steve, we were studying abroad in Prague when this happened.
But we still heard about it.
We
I heard
did.
all about it.
All the way around the world,
Um,
baby.
dude, that would be sick. They got to get some more holograms out there, dude.
I'm sure we could whip something up these. I'm sure we could go pretty hard these days.
Who's died? Oh, we talked about this on the pod. That one guy who died. You know, the coconut songs. He's always wearing the like Hawaiian shirts. Jimmy Buffett. We could do a Jimmy Buffett hologram. That would be sick.
Or like Nipsey Hussle hologram, you know?
Yeah, Juice World. Man,
Oh yeah, that
let's fucking go.
XX Tentacion or whatever. I don't know if he's canceled or not though. He might be canceled. I'm not really sure. But you know,
He's dead, so that's the ultimate cancel. Like
maybe
you're
we could
very canceled.
maybe we could get a Kanye hologram since he's a little off the rails, like the old Kanye hologram.
Oh,
Like
that's
of
a really good
2004,
idea.
you know?
Yes, and make it look like the old one too, not like the
Yeah.
fat one that's like a terrible person. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
really
yeah.
good idea. Wow. Okay, we should pitch that. We should
Yeah,
pitch that.
we'll send him a text. Yeah.
Yeah, history was made in 2018 with Beyonce. She was the first Black woman to headline the festival, and her performance, aka Beychella, is widely considered one of the greatest live sets of all time. I remember she made a whole ass docu-series on Netflix about that. It was just her preparing for Coachella, and each episode it'd be like 50 days till Coachella, 40 days till Coachella, and it was just her getting ready for this epic fucking performance. So I do remember that, you know, watching that, I was like, damn, okay, Coachella's lit.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone literally went to that one if you were at that cello.
Yeah, yo, you're not going to Ty Dolla Sign when Beychella's on.
Yeah, no way. All
All
right.
right.
Location and vibe. Steve, is this for real? Indio, California,
Yeah.
aka the city of festivals?
Damn
Wow.
right, baby. Yeah, it's in the Coachella Valley, so it's not actually in the town of Coachella, although there is a town called Coachella. But yeah, it's the city of festivals. I mean, they have 2 weekends in a row of Coachella. Then after that, the next weekend they have Stagecoach, which is a country festival. But you got Palm Springs nearby, which is a beautiful city, and then Joshua Tree National Park, which is dope. I just went there like a month ago.
Sick.
And it gets hot out there, over 100 degrees. Like it was 100 degrees the first day we were there out in the desert. So shit doesn't fuck around.
Yeah, but I thought it wasn't too bad. Really, the heat was not a big deal for me this year. I don't know why.
It's a dry heat. Yeah, I was just vibing too hard. You know, when I see Billie Eilish, she sends chills down my spine. So it made me shiver and it made me cold. So I forgot about the heat. Thanks, Billie. Okay, more about the legacy. Now, you know, after that first year, they had that rough patch. It's one of the highest grossing festivals in the world. Coachella routinely pulls in over $100 million in ticket sales. And that's before merch, food, brand activations like Travis Scott's stupid fucking thing. Yeah, just purely ticket sales, over $100 million.
That's a lot of money. So they went from losing $1 million to making $100 million. I think that's great. Good for them. They deserve it.
Yeah, and tickets used to be cheap. You know, in 1999, maybe that's where they went wrong. They charged too little. It was $50 for a one-day ticket. Now, obviously, GA passes start around $550 before fees, camping, or
wow.
the $20 lemonade.
So that's an 11x increase in ticket prices, but they kept the water the same price. So if the water would have increased, it would have been $22 waters.
And that's probably like millions of dollars in water
Yeah,
sales that they missed out on. But
a
sounds like
hundred
they're doing
percent.
fine.
So it wasn't a 2 weekend model until 2012.
They kind of paved the way for other festivals to do that. Other ones do that now, like Austin City Limits.
I think
But yeah, they
Tomorrowland
started to
maybe.
double up.
And I guess Golden
Um,
Voice is the one that runs it. And they also run
yeah,
Stagecoach.
and a bunch of LA venues and shows, I guess, out there. But Coachella is their crown jewel, you could say. So shout out to Golden Voice, not to be confused with Golden Eye, James Bond,
Ooh, okay.
or Goldfinger, which is a ska band that has a famous song in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1.
Which is also a James Bond movie.
Yes, it is. And so is Octopussy, which I've
Right.
always thought is just a wild name for like a movie and book or whatever. Octopussy.
Yeah, not to be confused with Goldfish either, which is a great snack.
Goldfish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
Now,
other
Steve.
gold stuff? No. So, my question for you, Jack,
Okay.
is what was your biggest over the weekend? What was your biggest I'm too old for this moment?
Oh my gosh. Okay. The third day, Sunday, walking back all the way to our Airbnb. So our Airbnb was like a couple miles away, right? And we decided that, okay, we didn't want to wait for an Uber. We would just walk because, waiting for an Uber takes so long. It could take hours. You don't know if you're going to get one. There's a lot of us, so we kind of need like a big car. So we decided to walk. And the walk takes forever. It takes so long. And I felt like I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculously. It took too long, and I was like, man, I'm really tired. I just want to like teleport home.
Yeah, I felt that shit deep in my bones. I definitely felt like an old man that night. I felt like I was limping, just walking. Like I wasn't even injured. I was just limping. So,
Okay, so is that your old man moment too, Steve, or did you have a different one?
I'm going to go with. So there's a stage called the Sahara stage
Mm.
at Coachella. It is known for very loud speakers, loud music. They have a lot of rap and EDM performances there. And we went to a show at Sahara. It was like 3 p.m. I mean, the sun was still shining bright. And this DJ, Sarah Landry, who is known for really hard techno,
Mhm.
was playing in the middle of the day, just going hard, just playing the hardest beats. I mean, the shit was like melting my face. Kids were going crazy, just raving their balls off. And I like couldn't handle it. I just kind of sat like on the hill and watched from a distance. And I just felt like I'm too old for this. Maybe if it was nighttime, like I would have felt more normal being there. But something about the sun being up, I just couldn't handle it.
No, dude, I'm totally with you. Like, I felt like it was like heart attack music. I felt like if I was gonna be, if she would play for hours, I would like literally like have a seizure or something. Cause it was just like, you feel the bass in your chest and it's really fast. I guess it's like 180 beats per minute. So
That's a
it
lot
was
of beats. She was good though. We saw her later at night for like a night show, and it was more fitting. I liked it.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit slower. It was like three girl DJs teaming up in the Do Lab. It was really fun. No, but she did go, it was cool. I mean, that was one of the things I like about Cella, right? Like you stumble upon shows that like you never like listened to. Like I don't know if I would like pop on Sarah Landry in my headphones like while I'm working, because I need to be able to like think, but
Yeah.
like it's a cool experience to see live.
This is great.
So Steve, what was your peak Coachella moment then?
Oh, baby. So there were a lot, there were a few, right? I think I wrote down two of them, but Coachella is known for surprises, having surprise guests, right? One artist is on the ticket, they're on the lineup, but if they have, a collaboration song with another artist, they'll often bring that artist out to perform with them, just out of nowhere. It's a big surprise. No one sees it coming. The biggest surprise was we went to Zed, who is, an electronic music DJ, has a lot of widely known pop hits, but plays some pretty hard EDM stuff as well. And out of nowhere, and he was bringing out a lot of special guests, like people who sing on his songs. He was bringing them out to sing live. And then out of nowhere, he just goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only John Mayer." I was like, did I hear that right? I would have never guessed in a million. Like, you could have given me 1,000 guesses of artists
Yeah.
that Zed would bring out. I would have never guessed John Mayer.
Yep.
So they played like a song together, and then he played like a solo. He played the song "New Light," just did his thing, did his John Mayer thing. Like, that was a huge surprise and a very peak Coachella moment for me. What would you say, Jack, to that question?
No, I agree. And I think it was cool. Like, so like Zed kind of moved to the drums to play drums for John Mayer while he did that song. Yeah, I thought that was crazy. I mean, I think John Mayer could headline Coachella by himself.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like, I mean,
totally.
he is that
Absolutely.
caliber of guy. So for him to come out, I mean, now Zed was pretty late in the lineup. So it's not like he was like, it was a very packed show and everything. But for him to come out for someone else like that, I think shows a lot of, honestly, like a lot of humility, like kind of like, being pretty cool about it, just trying to get out there and have a good time. And I thought that was awesome. I mean,
And yeah, I feel like he's that kind of guy. I remember there was a viral YouTube video of John Mayer walking around the tailgates for his own concert, like people
oh,
drinking out in the parking lot. But he's wearing a disguise. Like, I want to say he's in like a mascot costume,
okay.
and no one has any idea. And he's like going up to people. He's like, "You guys like John Mayer?" Like, I think he sucks. And just like, I don't even know, just saying all this shit. And people have no idea they're talking to John Mayer.
Yeah, he was I mean, people went crazy. The crowd was just like, you could feel that instant pack in moment. Everyone was paying
Oh yeah.
attention. All the girls were screaming, even the guys were screaming.
I was screaming for sure.
Yeah, yeah. No, that is totally peak Coachella, though. I mean, a lot of people want to go to Coachella and they always want to see, okay, so who are they going to bring out? And I think that is sort of one of the key reasons why Coachella is such a fun festival to go to.
So do you have another moment other than John Mayer, or do you like that one as well?
I mean, I love that one too, but I felt like our St. John moment was pretty cool as well. I know you're a much bigger fan, but I have listened to some of his music, and it was really cool how he was doing his final song, and he gets off stage, and he starts walking down through the crowd, and then he just somehow stops right next to us and start singing his song. And I thought that was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. We just happened to get so lucky to be right there, right next to
Dude,
him. I was just like
yeah,
in shock. I was like, what is going on here? How is this even
dude.
possible? And that was our first show we ever saw for the whole weekend. It was Friday,
First
like
show
4 p.m. It was
started
crazy.
off with a bang, dude. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. We're like, well, this is like centered, there's like some cushion here. Let's stand here. And he just ends up standing right next to us performing the song. Like, that was fucking wild. And I love
Yeah.
St. John, so that was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really special moment. I can't believe that happened. That'll probably never happen to me again. I just feel like the chances are so small. Like, for him to come to right to where you are in a gigantic sea of people, was just absurd and kind of risky.
God.
You know what I mean? Like, as a famous rapper or artist, like to just go in the crowd of normal people and like sing like that and rap, like, I mean, that's crazy. I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of famous people probably would never do that. I mean, just because
Yeah.
of like safety and the time limits and stuff like that. So there's just so many factors where we got lucky.
I agree. He gives zero fucks, and I respect that. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
okay, we kind of touched on this, but was there any unexpected artists, like you were saying, like sometimes you discover new artists when you go to Coachella that you wouldn't normally listen to?
Yeah.
Was there anyone that kind of blew you away that you weren't expecting to enjoy?
Yeah, now, I mean, we talked about Sarah Landry. That was really fun. I mean, we kind of went in the crowd for a little bit. I did my little seizure dance and I had a great time. But also, we got to see Lisa from Blackpink. And I felt like she put on such a cool, like, visual set. Like, I still don't really know her songs or really anything about her, but the show she put on was badass. Like, such cool lights, props, dancers. I mean, it was a really interesting set. So I was like super impressed. I was like an instant fan after that. Such a regular name, but such a badass performance.
I'm gonna go with that one as well. You
Okay.
know, I didn't really know who Lisa was. I mean, I kind of knew who she was. I saw her on The White Lotus, but I never really listened to her music. And then she just came out and crushed it. And yeah, it was an incredible show in Sahara, of course.
Right.
So yeah, no, I'm with you on that one.
And she had like 20 outfit changes, which I thought was kind of cool. I feel like the girls do a lot of wardrobe changes. That would seem to be kind of the theme of the weekend. You know, Lady Gaga did a lot of wardrobe changes.
Oh yeah,
Lisa, it was crazy, and I thought that was awesome.
I'm with you.
Okay, Steve. So, what was your only at Coachella moment from the weekend?
Okay. There were a lot of them, and I don't remember a lot of them, but this is just the first one that came to my mind. Was when we were walking in and this dude was talking to his friends and he was talking about how he was having a bad trip on drugs. And he's like, I was having a really bad trip. I didn't know what to do. So I asked ChatGPT what to do if I have a bad trip. And ChatGPT just talked me through it and it worked. Like I was fine. So that's a very 2025 Coachella moment. Like not only are you tripping on drugs, but you are tripping with ChatGPT. So I just thought that was hilarious.
I mean, thank God for ChatGPT voice mode, right? Because usually when I'm tripping, I can't read my phone. So you kind of need the voice mode to be able to do the communication.
Yeah. Thank God for robots being there to save us.
Yeah. All right, Steve, this is a funny question here. If we had body cams on the whole weekend, what moment would you not want aired? Yet we're going to talk about it on the podcast, which is aired.
Yeah, it is aired, but you know what? I guess not aired for the mat. It doesn't need to be aired on fucking CNN or what. I don't even know what Netflix. It doesn't need to be aired on Netflix. I was like, people
Okay,
don't watch
yeah,
cable.
that's
You know, there's a lot I could say about this because you know we did a lot of fucked up things, probably some illegal things, whatever. But you know, I had a bad moment. I'd say where I got into a bad vibe where you know I was really excited to see Green Day. You know, I used to be emo and shit, so I was pumped to see these guys, and I felt like my friends, you know, the group wasn't really vibing with that. Some people were like, I just want to go home. You know, it was the end of day 2, people were tired, and I was like kind of forcing it. I was like, no, we gotta fucking go to Green Day. And people were just like not really coming with me, and I was just like, fuck, like does everyone fucking hate me? It's like, I'm sorry for making you go to Green Day. Like, fuck me, right? And, you know, I kind of had a little freak out moment. And everybody was like, no, dude, it's chill. Like, you know, you were there. You were like giving me a hug. You're like, no, dude, we love you. We love Green Day. Let's fucking go. And, but yeah, I got a little upset there for a moment. Not one of my proudest. But it ended up working out because then we had an amazing time at Green Day, just rocking out. We ended up winning the Best Vibes Award from a random guy who literally gave us a trophy. He saw us dancing so hard at Green Day, just dancing our balls off. He goes, "You guys win the Best Vibe Award for today." And I was like, "Dude, this means so much. Like, you don't know, like, we were in a bad place, like, before the show started. So, like, this really means a lot." It's just like this stupid little plastic trophy, but I was like, dude, I love you, man.
I mean,
So,
Green Day turned out to be my favorite set. Like, that was awesome. Like, Green Day killed it.
me too. I was a big fan. I mean, when American Idiot first dropped of the album back in the day, like I had the CD. I was going through like the booklet and shit, reading the lyrics. You know, I didn't really understand the political messaging behind it, but I was like, fuck yeah, fuck the government or like whatever they're talking about. I love that shit. So yeah, that was awesome to see all that live.
They were so
But
good. They were so
so
good.
good.
I felt like, yeah, just so many sing-alongs, you know, like
Yes. Oh my god. And
yeah.
just good vibes. Like it was just fun. So if we had body cams on us, Jack, what would you not want not aired on HBO Max?
I don't know. I think I was honestly pretty. I don't know if any. Well, okay, there is one thing. There is one thing. I think I got a little carried away with vaping. Okay. Like, I've
Mm.
never been a vapor or a tobacco guy, but I kind of started hitting the vape, and I think I went a little too hard on the vape. So I don't want my mom to see me vaping. So that's what I don't want aired.
What would be worse if she saw you smoking a cig or ripping a vape?
I don't, probably a cig. I don't know if my mom knows what a vape is. Do your parents know what
Yeah.
vapes are?
I've like
Okay.
vaped in front of my parents before.
Oh,
They can only control me so much before I start vaping in front of them. I remember the first time I started swearing in front of them. It was just like, the floodgates were open. I said my first fuck, and I was like, you guys can't stop me from saying fuck. And I just started doing it from then on out. So vaping's kind of the same.
I mean, I try not to cuss in front of my parents because I know they don't cuss, you know?
Mm.
So I feel weird about it, but I do feel like I cuss too much. It was actually one of my New Year's resolutions to cuss less, but it hasn't really worked that well. It's kind of tough.
Yeah, you fucking suck at not cussing.
Yeah, I fucking love cussing. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we went to weekend one, not to
Yeah.
brag.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our top or our personal weekend one moments.
Okay.
We can start with you, Jack. You could rank top three or you could just name one, but the categories are performances, fails, and that could be an artist failing, that could be you failing, a fail you witnessed,
Okay.
and then food is another category. So let's hear your highlights.
All right. Top three performances. Okay. I'm going to give Green Day is up there. I'm going to give Lisa a nod. And I'm gonna give Sarah Landry. Oh, but with honorable mention to Gaga. But I just felt like Gaga was really good. I loved it. But like Sarah Landry and Lisa were like really big surprises to me. And I love getting surprised. I love the new vibes like that. So I'm gonna have to go. Those are my top three performances. The top three fails. Okay, yeah, walking home sucked ass for sure. Vaping when I almost like fell over because I was like had too much tobacco like in my system. Like I don't know if that's ever happened to you, Steve, where it's like I was getting super carried away and like
Yeah.
started vaping so much. And I was like, I feel like I'm gonna like throw up or like collapse. So I put that as number two. And I felt like Big X the Plug kind of sucked. He kind of sucked. He sucked. So those
Yeah.
are my three things not to be a hater.
I mean, rap shows are just sometimes kind of, like hearing like the voice of an angel like Lady Gaga live, it just
Yeah.
sounds so much better than rappers a lot of times. It's just kind of how it goes, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so that was a little weird, but it's all good. And then for the food, I didn't actually like eat. So like I kind of forgot to eat.
maybe,
I think one day I had like some chicken tenders, which were like fine, but like other than that, like I didn't really eat that much at Coachella. Like,
yeah,
yeah, what
me
about you?
either.
Yeah.
All right, so my top three performances, I think number one is Green Day. Not
Okay.
only do I love them, but like they just put on an amazing show. They sounded great, so much energy. The whole crowd was into it. Everything just was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go Zed. Even
Yeah.
without John Mayer, I mean, that was an amazing show. I've seen Zed twice before, but this was by far his best performance that I've
Really?
seen. Yeah. And I'm going to go with St. John because I love St. John. I'm low key a big fan. That's like my niche artist that I'm obsessed with.
Okay.
And him coming out into the crowd and me just being face to face with him was like a God moment.
Yeah.
But I will give an honorable mention to our girl, Charlie XCX, because that was a really fun show as well. I mean, the crowd, everyone was just jumping the whole time. I was like, I can't jump as much as all you girls, but this is an amazing show.
Yeah. I love that show too. I kind of wish she would have played Boom Clap. Sorry, spoiler alert. It didn't happen, but it was still badass.
Jack probably yelled boom clap more than 100 times, I'd say, maybe even 200. You're like, play boom clap. At one point, I was like, "Yo, dude, you're gonna piss off the brats. Like, chill out, dude."
Yeah, I didn't know what Brat Summer was either, so I learned a lot. I felt like when I went to Coachella, I realized, wow, have I been like living under a rock for the past year or something? Like all this stuff, like all this culture is around me that apparently I was late for.
I mean, not under a rock, but you were a nomad, you know, like you were in, where the fuck were you like for the past year? You were in some random countries. They may not know about Brat Summer. So,
Yeah, like, do they know about Boom Clap in the Middle East? I don't know.
okay, fails. I'm going to say walking home. We already touched on that. One night, Tyler and I stayed up until 5 a.m. in the hot tub. I don't know if anyone really even knows about that, but it was just like every time we would finish a beer, we'd be like, should we have another beer? Yeah, like the hot tub just felt so good. You know, it was Saturday night and we weren't looking at our phones. We were just bullshitting about whatever, everything. And next thing I knew, okay, then we were like, all right, this has to be the last beer. And then we looked at our phones and it was 5 a.m. We're like, well, we're going to regret this tomorrow, but I don't regret it now. We had some great conversations. So it was fun.
So, are you saying that was a fail because it made Sunday tougher?
Yes. I literally
Okay.
woke up on Sunday and somehow also took a nap before we went to the festival. Like I woke up, ate breakfast, and then like went back to sleep. And I feel like that was why I was still fucking tired on Tuesday and had to take off work. So shout out Tyler. We talked about some hilarious shit that I won't repeat here, but it was worth it.
That's good.
My third fail is Travis Scott. I have decided that he is the most overrated rapper, possibly the most overrated artist of all time. I've decided that he is a marketing artist. Like he has so much marketing that it's just convinced the masses that he's good. But I could name 100 artists that are better than Travis Scott. And I had always felt that, but I was afraid to say it because everyone loves Travis Scott. But after seeing that performance, I was like, this guy, it sounds like he doesn't care. You know, he's already killed people at his shows. You'd think he'd want to put on a good one. He had this art exhibit that we went to during the day that was just, again, a giant advertisement for him. Like all these people came up to us with clipboards. They're like, sign up for this Travis Scott sweepstakes. Ugh. And we're just like, fuck off. And so that just put a bad taste in my mouth. Sorry to be a hater.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I was a little disappointed from his show as well. I mean, there are songs I really like from him and everything, and
Me too. He has bangers. I mean, yeah, I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie. He definitely has bangers, but
yeah,
it was disappointing.
yeah, definitely. I felt like it maybe wasn't like a headliner worthy performance. Maybe they should have put John Mayer up there, you know.
Yeah. And then my food, the only thing that, I didn't have that much either, but I remember I went to get a corn dog because I was like, this will be easy. It's on a stick. I don't have to try that hard. And they were like, do you want a big or a small corn dog? And I was like, just a small is fine. And it was the biggest corn dog I've ever eaten. I mean, you saw it. That thing was bigger than my head. And I was like, this is a small. And it actually was really difficult to eat that thing. So that strategy failed.
Yeah, that was definitely a porn star size corn dog, Steve. That thing was honking. You know, that was a Johnny Sins corn dog.
Yeah,
Did that make
maybe
that weird?
Lexington, maybe Lexington Steel. I was gonna say it looked more like a Lexington Steel kind of.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, same situation. Same situation. You had a bucket of mustard too.
Yeah, I was just dipping it in a cup of mustard. It was disgusting, honestly. All right, Jack, what is a Coachella hack that saved your life this year?
I definitely think when we got the rickshaw home, that was really good. To be honest, I've never been good at like being prepared for things. And so one of the things I see, your similar vibe is I love that they have cheap water and good logistics so you can always easily get water because I'm not prepared. I didn't bring like a camelback or like all this stuff, but you can just buy anything you want at Coachella. You don't have to come with anything. They have everything there as well. As long as you're willing to spend the money, they got everything for you. And it's not going to be a shit show or anything. And I think that's one of the things that I love about Coachella the most, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the water situation does get tough. They have free water refill stations, but sometimes there's a million people crowded around it. So it's like impossible. It's not worth it. It's like I'm gonna miss the show. So what I tried to do was, they sell $2 bottle of waters. That's a cool thing about Coachella is they've been selling water for the same price since the year the festival started in 1999. So, I brought a little knapsack drawstring bag And I would just buy like 8 water bottles at a time, just throw them all in there. So that way the squad was hydrated. We didn't have anyone pass out or anything. So I'd say that was my hack, is stocking up on the $2 water bottles.
Yeah, what nice guys. I just, selling the water, they could have gouged you. I would have paid $10. I'm glad I didn't have
Easily.
to, though. All right, Steve. What was the most unhinged outfit you saw?
Let me think about it. I'm
Okay.
gonna
Okay.
go to you first
Okay.
to answer this one.
All right. We were in the do lab, and this guy was wearing a black shirt, and on the back it said, I eat pizza and assholes. And he was getting a lot of attention. A lot of people were coming up and talking to him, trying to get photos with his shirt. I mean, that's all good.
You know what they say about people who eat pineapple on pizza is that they also eat ass. Like that was like a social media craze for a while. So I bet when that guy says that he eats pizza and assholes, he puts pineapple on his pizza for sure.
Yeah. Now, Steve, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember this. Is we were walking to a show and there was a guy wearing a yellow shirt, okay? And you kind of caught a glimpse of his shirt, but you weren't sure what it said. So
Yeah.
you're yelling at him. You're like, "Hey man, turn around. I want to see what your shirt says." And you had to say it a couple times and a few people around him looked and the guy finally looks and he turns around, he shows his shirt like this and it says, "I love cock" on it. And we all just started laughing our ass. It was so funny to spend so much effort to get someone's attention for it to just say "I love cock." I mean, that was hilarious.
Okay, that was the one I couldn't remember exactly it, so I'm glad you said, because that was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I remember the cock, the O in cock was a heart.
Yes.
So like he really loves cock because
Yeah.
it's literally spelled with a heart. So yeah, that was a great shirt.
And it was just funny that you really insisted on seeing it. Like that was the funny part. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because one of you guys was like, "Dude, Steve, look at that guy's shirt," and then I couldn't see it, so I was like, "Well, now I got to see it. I'm not going to go the rest of the day, wondering what this says." So
Yeah.
yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, that was hilarious, honestly. God damn it. That was
All right,
good.
Jack. If Coachella were a video game, what difficulty setting were we on this year? And what was our final boss fight? It's kind of a weird question. You can answer it however you want, but
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like we were on a higher difficulty setting than any other year because we're like in our 30s now. I remember our first Cella, we were in our 20s, and I didn't really remember feeling tired or anything. But I think this year I could kind of tell the group was dragging a little bit. I think everyone was, especially on Sunday, I could tell we were positive, but people were tired for sure. I think it was a pretty high difficulty, and making it to the end, I think I'm proud of us, but it was tough.
okay, so I have a similar answer, but I'm going to say we were on easy mode
Mm,
because we're older now and we have more money and we're more just mature about like, we got a super nice Airbnb. Like the first time we went to Coachella, Jack, we stayed with some family like at their house in their like kids' bedroom. They had like fucking Spider-Man sheets and like
yeah,
Xbox controllers like in the pillowcases. So yeah, I feel like we did it right this time by getting a nice Airbnb, one that was walking distance, even though it was a far walk.
yeah.
Before walking was never an option. So the fact that we could do walking distance, I feel like that made it a little bit easier and we were just smarter in general. So the final boss was making it to Post Malone, the closing set, and we did it. We were tired, but we defeated the game.
And I will say, I remember our second Coachella, I like my back really hurt from walking around. I don't think yours did really, but I remember saying like I was like laying on the ground because my lower back hurt, and that actually didn't happen to me this time. And I don't know if that's because I'm in better shape now or something like that, but I do feel like there was an improvement in the back category.
Yeah, I think it's because
Yeah.
you've been working out and like running and yeah.
Yeah, so that was key. I mean, we put a lot of steps in, Steve.
It said we walked like 13 or 14 miles on Saturday. So
That's crazy. I need to get one of those like I ran the Coachella marathon shirts. Okay, Steve. Coachella is known for surprises. What surprise should have happened but didn't?
All weekend I was really hoping Post Malone. I mean, he has collaborated with every rapper, every singer, fucking Taylor Swift. He just released this new country album where literally every country superstar is featured on one of the songs. So I was ready for him to just bring out all the stops, bring out everyone, and he didn't bring out a single guest. So I felt like that was a surprise that was disappointing. He still put on a great show. I don't need the surprises, but it would have been nice.
Yeah, no, he did a good job. I liked his show. Yeah, but maybe he's just like so big. Like, I don't know. It's like Lady Gaga didn't bring anyone out. Like, I don't know. Like,
True.
maybe he's just that big.
That's a good point that you don't need to. Green Day didn't either. Not that they collaborate with anyone, but yeah. What,
Yeah.
what would you say for that answer, Jack?
I was I don't know. I think that's good. I don't know if there was anything
Okay.
I was like super expecting, to be honest. I always expect to see people, but I don't exactly know who. And I think what was interesting about this year is that I felt like at first glance the lineup wasn't necessarily something I was like super into, and so that maybe that's why I didn't sort of have those like sort of expectations, but it really
Hmm.
turned out to be a great lineup.
Like we say, the lineup doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
It's
literally
always
doesn't.
fun.
Yeah, it was just that
Yeah.
awesome. So
I just feel like we know enough music that we're gonna have fun. Dude, also speaking of surprises, Zed, I just saw this TikTok that Ty Dolla Sign performed at the same time as Zed, and
yeah,
like no one was at the Ty Dolla Sign show. It was at
really.
Sahara. It was completely empty. It was like 15 minutes before he started. Smallest crowd I've ever seen, like at a Coachella show, because everyone was at Zed. So we made the right move there, I'd say.
And that's without even knowing about John Mayer. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, I
Crazy.
mean, that is cool. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Ty Dolla, I guess, but Zed was really good. I mean, he did a really good job. He lived up to his time slot for sure. Now, Steve, we should talk about what we just discussed this while we were raving. Your favorite artist has been to every Coachella that you've been to.
Yeah. So, you know what? Let's talk about this because it does segue into our next question as well.
Okay.
So, we have been to three Coachellas now: 2019, 2022, and this year, 2025. The other person who has been to all three of those is Billie Eilish. That's right. One of my favorite artists. She was a big show the first year we were there, then she headlined the second time, and then she came out as a guest with Charlie XCX this time. So apparently I only go to Billy Coachellas.
Yeah, Bill Cella,
Yeah, or as we call her, Billy Boner.
Billy Boner Cella. Yeah, I mean, people like her, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know why. She just like whispers when she sings. She's just like, yeah, 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 yeah. She's creepy. She scares me. That was sarcasm earlier, by the way, folks, when I said that I love Billie Eilish. I'm not much of a hater. There's not a lot of artists I don't like. I can't get into her. I'm sorry.
She's like the human version of a spider.
She is. Yeah, she's just like a spider personified, and her visuals are always really creepy. It's like a horror movie. So sorry to all of our Gen Z listeners who love Billie Eilish, but not my thing. I do really like that newer song that she has, Birds of a Feather. I'm into that. So, there's still hope.
Okay, so what are Billie Eilish fans called? Do we know? Like, is that like do they have like a name? Like
Millennials. I don't know. Let's ask ChatGPT.
millennials? Yeah, let's ask ChatGPT.
They're called avocados.
Wait, what? Where are the
Which started
avocados?
it started as a joke, but it stuck. When Billy first set up her Instagram, her username was Where Are the Avocados because she couldn't find any avocados for a sandwich. Her fans ran with it, and avocados became a nickname for her fan base. Some people also call themselves eyelashes, a playful twist on her last name. Wow. Okay.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I love avocados for sure, so that's chill.
I mean, I've seen Billy 3 times now, so I guess you could call me an avocado. Fuck it. But can I be guac at least? Like some
Oh,
spicy guac.
that's kind of chill. Yeah, you could be the guac. So do you think Billy is like the nut and like the fans are the avocado around the nut?
Oh, that would make sense. Like a concert, like the crowd. Yeah. So Billy
Yeah.
is the nut. Is it called a nut or a pit? But yeah,
Oh,
Billy's a
maybe it's called
nut.
the pit. Maybe that sounds right. Or is the nut go in the pit? Like
Yeah, I don't know. There's layers to this shit, but we'll
literally.
figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Steve, how would you say that our, Coachella has changed since maybe our first time going in 2019 or 2022, I guess?
The biggest thing for me that comes to mind, and I know I brought it up to you, Jack, while we were there, is the Do Lab becoming so mainstream. The
Yeah.
Do Lab used to be a chill place to hang out. It didn't really have big crowds. It used to be kind of tucked up away, like in the corner. It was hard to find. It was just more niche. And now it's like right when you walk into the festival, it's like a centerpiece. It looks different. It looks cooler. But now the crowd there is always huge. It's always like lit and crowded. Like it used to be our kind of place to go relax and like sit down and chill. Now you can't chill in the Do Lab. It's too mainstream. So that's the difference for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like the lineup's not secret anymore. Everyone's leaking everything. There's no more dignity left.
What would you say, Jack? What has changed since our first time going?
Well, one huge thing is they put a lot more grass in. I felt like
Mm.
there was way more grass than dirt. Normally, when you go to Coachella, you got to wear the mask. And maybe because I got the wook flu, maybe I should have kept wearing the mask. But I never felt like overloaded with dust in my face this time. I felt
Yeah.
like I was always walking
Band-
on grass.
Bandanas used to be such a bigger vibe at Coachella. Like everyone was wearing bandanas, and now no one does.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting, which I think is a plus. I mean, I'm glad they figured that out. I'm sure they're making a ton of money. Let's just put some grass in there for sure.
But for someone who's never been, what's one thing they think Coachella is, but it's really not?
I think a lot of people think Coachella is like this like snooty, only for people who want to show off, only for people who don't actually care about music, who want to just like status signal on Instagram. But I really think like, and I know it sounds cheesy, but like Coachella is for everyone. I mean, you can go, people like 5 and under can go for free. There's people who are older there who go. I felt like they have, every genre of music represented. They have really good logistics, so you never feel like you're in some shithole where there's no bathrooms or too long a lines. It's so well done that people who are like responsible and want to have like an adult good time will enjoy themselves. And I think a lot of festivals are not like that at all. So I think
I
it really is
agree.
great like in that way.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. Coachella has this reputation, or at least it did for a long time, that it's only for rich people or influencers. You think, oh, you're going to Coachella, you're just going to be taking Instagram pictures the whole time. But it's like, no,
Yeah.
I go for the music. Like, we go to so many shows. I just love music. I'm a huge music fan, and that's what I love about it. Like, yeah, the influencers are there, but like, we don't really see them. And as far as the rich people thing, it's been going viral this year that 60% of people bought their tickets with a payment plan this year, which is like a record. I think last year was like, 25% or something. So
Wow.
people are, they're not exactly breaking the bank to go to Cella anymore. But funny thing about the payment plan is if you don't make your final payment before the festival, they don't let you go. Like you can't pay after the
Oh,
festival happens.
wow.
You
Okay.
just, they won't let you go. They won't give you your ticket if you don't finish your payment plan. What they will do though is they will accrue it, like they'll count it towards next year's festival and be like,
Uh,
okay, you can just keep the payments coming until next year then, and you can come next year, which is nice. They're not just totally taking people's money.
that is really nice of them, honestly. Well, I feel like the ticket is a part of the payment, but getting the accommodations and the travel and stuff is also a big part of it. So I think
Yeah.
having that payment plan probably helps a lot of people out, which I think is great because I think as a young person, like, like as like a teenager or like, a young adult, like, yeah, you should go, man. I mean, yeah, even if you can't like really afford it, like you should go have a great time. Like that's what it's all about. Like
Yeah.
the
Go
young
before your
people,
bones start aching.
yeah, like me and you, we don't know anything about Brat Summer, but these 18-year-olds, they know everything about it. You know what I mean? Like they should be there.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Yeah, the brats need to be at Coachella. So put them on the fucking layaway plan. Get the brats out there. Yeah, they gotta go.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, Jack, I know you said Coachella is for everyone, so maybe this question isn't for you, but what kind of people shouldn't go to Coachella? Like, be honest. Is there anyone out there who wouldn't enjoy it?
I don't know how to say this in the right way. I feel like you shouldn't go alone. I feel like you need to go with your friends or your family or like a group of people. Like I think it's important to those that kind of thing is it's important to share memories with people in that scenario. I don't think it would be super fun to go by yourself. And yeah, if you're not really into concerts or loud music or maybe you like I feel like I don't know. I don't mean this in a negative way, but like if you have like a disability maybe that like limits your movement or like makes it difficult for you to get around, I think maybe that could kill the vibe a little bit for you. Like so, I wouldn't want you to be like so uncomfortable that you like aren't having a good time. So I think maybe something like that, right?
Yeah. No, those are good answers. I
What
would
about
say,
you?
yeah, people who hate crowds maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't like crowds, but I like music and concerts more than I hate crowds. So it the pro outweighs the con there. Or maybe if you have bad anxiety, I don't really know what that's like, really bad. Like kind of you said, like physical disabilities, maybe you have some mental health issues. You don't want to be in those crowds because it is fucking crazy sometimes. There's a ton of people. So yeah, if you're like that, or if you just hate music, which if you hate music, that sounds miserable, but yeah, you might not enjoy Coachella.
Yeah, there's got to be something out there you like, right? I mean, we're all wired to like something, right?
I like to think so, but I remember I did meet a guy who, like, I was interning with him one summer at a company. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not really a music guy." Oh, all right. I don't know what that means, but enjoy listening to podcasts, I guess, like a loser.
Yeah, like who listens to podcasts, dude? That's crazy. Yeah.
Not me. I only make them. I don't listen to them.
Right, we're creators, not consumers, right? I feel bad for that guy. How do you not like? There's got to be something out there, like a T
Maybe.
Pain song, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve. Okay, so what are your tips for first timers? What do you wish you knew before your first Cella?
Okay. One thing I wish I knew is that you won't see all the artists that you want to see, and you have to accept that. When the lineup first drops, you see the poster, you're like, oh, wow, look at all these artists. I made a playlist, I made a schedule, and I didn't see even half the artists on that playlist. There's just not enough time. There's competing set times. It's hard to run back and forth. An example is Above and Beyond. I know we wanted to see them, but Green Day was so sick. It was at the same time. It's like, why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
Mm,
that would have been cool to see. Just get that in your head that you're not going to see everyone, and don't be upset if that's what happens. So, what would you
totally.
say?
Yeah, no, totally. I remember there was several times where I was like, oh man, I just got like carried away. I totally forgot to go see someone I really wanted to, right? And usually when you're in a group, you got to kind of, like everyone's different. Everyone's got their different tastes. And I think it's important to make compromises to like stay together and like enjoy it together. And so you might not see everyone you want to see because other people, want to see
Yeah.
someone else. And I think that's totally okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't regret anything. Yeah. Were there, what I would have liked to see Polo and Pan during Post Malone? Sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? I had a great time at Post Malone, so I don't regret that. So it's all good.
But would I have liked to see DJ Mustard? Yeah. But did I
Yes.
have a blast at Lady Gaga? Hell yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So, like,
There's always Couchcella this weekend, Jack. I might tune in for Mustard, see what's going on there.
yeah, I might check that out as well. Yeah. So, Steve, maybe you can explain to our viewers what the difference between weekend one and weekend two is, though.
All right, here's how I see it. Okay, there's 2 weekends. I feel like, oh man, I feel like one, the shit. How do I say this? I just feel like two has cheaper tickets, like because everyone wants to go to weekend one to see the surprises and stuff. I feel like that's important because weekend two, it's like all the surprises already happened. So, there's that element is kind of taken away. I know that some people bring out different people, different weekends and stuff, but I feel like weekend one's more expensive and weekend two is cheaper. So sometimes the crowd is a little more rowdy. Some people might use the word trashy. I wouldn't use that word, but evil people on Twitter and shit might say that weekend two is trashier. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's the difference for me. We're weekend one guys the last 2 years, but I don't know. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's a myth or not, but I felt like there was always more surprise guests on weekend weekend one. And
Yeah.
that would be a great study. I would love for someone to kind of back that up with data. I wonder if that's actually true or not. Someone counts all the surprise guests for each, weekend and kind of see, uh, which one
I'm
actually
sure,
has
yeah.
more.
I'm sure someone on fucking Reddit or something has done that. I might ask ChatGPT, not now, but maybe later. We'll get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Chat would know. Chat would know.
Yeah.
Um, and so,
Yeah.
Steve, what would you recommend for accommodations? Camping, hotel, Airbnb. What's your vibe?
So camping, just no. We've never done that. Some of our friends have. It just sounds terrible. You can't shower, really. It's like you dump a bucket of water on yourself. Talk about wook life. That's some wook shit that I don't really want to be a part of. Hotels, I remember looking at the rates and it's just ridiculous. We're talking like $2,000 a night. And you're still not even that close to the festival. So fuck that. Airbnb, I think, is the best way to do it. You're with a group of friends, you can split the place, have your own kind of private place to retreat to and hang out. We had a pool at ours. That was just a great vibe before and after the festival. So I think Airbnb is the way to go. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like a hotel would kind of be a little bit lame because, I mean, I guess there's probably a shared pool area, but, you're probably spending a lot of time kind of cooped up in a room. And I felt like what really made us, go hard, as they say, was being able to have that recovery time at the house, lounging around, go to the pool, sit on the couch, have more space. I felt like that was key.
I agree.
But if I was 18, I would full send camping.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
full
I'd be
send
down
that. Yeah, like
for
that.
sure.
That would be awesome.
It is nice that you can walk to the campsites. You don't have to worry about the Uber bullshit and all that. So that is a benefit.
It's probably the
So
cheapest option.
yes, and cheapest. Yeah. So
Yeah.
well, good. That was fun. That's the end of our episode. We're actually gonna do a little bit more, Jack, but we're gonna
Okay.
say that this is the end. So thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you. We love Coachella.
Yeah, we do. We'll be back, maybe, and take a weird trip.